It was supposed to be a normal graveyard shift. That's what Daniel Harper kept telling himself when he accepted the overnight caretaker job at an old cemetery outside New Orleans. The pay was good, no experience required. Only one strange rule printed at the bottom of the contract: never stay inside the cemetery after 3:13 a.m. Daniel laughed when he first read it until his third night. Rain hammered the rusted gates while fog crawled across the graves like smoke. Daniel sat inside the tiny office, watching security cameras flicker on an old monitor. 2:47 a.m. Everything looked normal. Then camera 6 went black. A few seconds later, it came back on. But something had changed. One grave was open. Daniel leaned closer to the screen. The grave definitely hadn't been open before. Dirt was piled beside it like someone had climbed out. He grabbed his flashlight and radio. "Probably teenagers," he muttered. The deeper he walked into the cemetery, the quieter the world became. No wind, no insects, just the sound of his own boots crushing wet gravel. Then his radio crackled. A voice whispered, "Don't let it see you looking." Daniel froze. "Hello?" No answer. He reached the open grave and pointed the flashlight inside. Empty, but the mud around it was covered in barefoot footprints leading between the tombstones. That's when the church bell rang. 3 times. 3 a.m. Daniel suddenly remembered another thing the old caretaker had warned him about before quitting. If you hear the bells after midnight, leave immediately. And if someone calls your name from behind you, don't turn around. At first, Daniel heard nothing. Then, "Daniel," a woman's voice, soft, close, right behind him. Every hair on his body stood up. His chest tightened as cold spread through his arms. "Daniel," closer this time. He squeezed the flashlight so hard his hand hurt. Every instinct screamed at him to look back, but he started walking faster instead. The footsteps behind him matched his pace, slow, wet, barefoot. His flashlight suddenly died. Darkness swallowed everything. Then the voice whispered directly beside his ear, "You looked at the grave." Daniel ran. He crashed through rows of tombstones while the bells rang louder and louder. Something chased him through the fog, not running, but dragging itself across the ground. He could hear fingernails scraping stone. 3:11 a.m. The front gates finally appeared ahead. Daniel sprinted toward them, but before he reached the exit, he accidentally looked back. At first, he thought it was a woman crawling through the mud. Then he saw the arms were too long. Its jaw hung unnaturally wide. Its skin looked soaked and gray like a drowned corpse. And its eyes, completely white, the thing smiled. Daniel barely escaped through the gates at 3:12 a.m. The next morning, police found him sitting outside the cemetery, shaking uncontrollably. He quit immediately. But 3 days later, the new night caretaker disappeared. The only thing officers found was his flashlight beside the same open grave, and fresh barefoot footprints leading deeper into the cemetery.